How's it going, YouTube? Peter here, Ginger Joe the Geek. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time watching, please do hit the like button and subscribe for future content. So, bit of a weird video this week. There's been something happen on comic book sales which has just totally baffled us. I can't get my head around it. And for those of you that don't know the story, this is the sale of the #1 from the cover of an Action Comics #1. Yeah, let that sink in a second. So that's the #1, about the size of a postage stamp, has been graded and then sold at auction. Now, we all know that Action Comics 1 is a mega key. It's one of the biggest books anyone could ever hope to get. It's, you know, it's a mega grail for an awful lot of people. First appearance of Superman, obviously, back in 1938. Like I say, not a book you see many of. Last sale data that I can find is from earlier this year. And a 6.0 sold for $3,180,000. Massive, huge number, huge money book, this one. So what is this? This is a section of a cover from that iconic issue, Action Comics #1. It's literally a cutout of the #1 from the cover. It's been graded by CGC and then sold at auction. So let's just look at that for a second there. First of all, CGC have graded this thing. How the hell have CGC graded this? I mean, for a starter, my own personal opinion, it looks ugly as hell. I mean, I don't think that looks nice, but that's just my personal view. We know CGC's got issues grading modern books. So how the hell have they managed to grade this? I don't know. There's no detail really as to the process they've gone through. I'm assuming it's legit. I'm assuming they've looked at paper quality and age and all the rest of it. But let's ask ourselves the question, why do you want a little section of #1 from Action Comics #1? I mean, yes, it's a mega key, but for me, this is just a little bit strange. I know people collect random pages of books and things like that, but this is taken it to the extreme. Now, let's look at price. This thing sold for $7,000. $7,000! I mean, that's absolutely mental. I guess you could say that, you know, an Action Comics 1 sold for $3 million, like we've just said. So is this a bargain? God only knows. So like I said, this sold for over $7,000, which to me is a large sum of money. What else could you get? What else could you have spent your money on instead of buying this scrap? You could have gotten yourself 3 copies of Giant Size X-Men #1, first appearances of Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, all at a CGC 5.5. So 3 copies of that book for this. You could have gotten yourself a low grade X-Men 1, which is a Marvel mega key, you know, massive first appearances, key book. You could have gotten yourself a really high grade Hulk 181 8.0, again with a little bit of money left over. You could have really gone big and gone for a big collector book and getting yourself 26 copies of Dark Hawk #1 at 9.8. Just think about that. 28 copies of Dark Hawk 1. You could have gotten yourself 13 Nights with Julia Roberts at Pretty Woman rates, although that doesn't take into consideration inflation, so you do have to bear that in mind. Dirty. Or you could have gotten yourself 1,311 Big Macs. So out of those options, I obviously know which one I would be going for. So I guess in summary, guys, it's not for me to tell people how to collect. It's not for me to criticise what people spend their money on. But I am struggling to get my head around this one, I have to say. Some people hate grading and are very passionate about saying that grading's a waste of money, plastic coffins, all that jazz. I get that. Some people collect, you know, single pages. I've seen that before, and I get that, particularly if it's got the character on. This, I really don't get. I understand that you can say that you own a piece of that iconic cover, but it is literally a piece, isn't it? And it's a piece for £7,000, and it's not even a nice looking thing, in my humble opinion. So let us know what you think, guys. Really interested to know your views on this. Stick something in the comments below. Do you think this was a good purchase? Do you think this is something that we're going to see more of in the future? Do you think CGC are mental grading little things like this? For me, this whole thing sits somewhere between the realms of absolute madness and absolute genius. I can't quite work out where I'm at with it yet. Okay guys, that's your whack, and I'll catch you next time.